can see where we came down and tapped in at this is the overnight session, and then again in pre-market, and then again when the market opened. So I'm interested to see how this reacts to this. If we can come down, hit this pre-market level and get a green candle that closes, a 5-minute candle that closes outside of this zone, would be sitting at 21,276.50.
Sub
I would
six.
then be interested in taking a long, especially breaking this little downtrend off of this little 5-minute structure here.
All right.
Andre's not
Jack, you're
wrong,
up.
by the way. M-
Oh,
MP
what?
is obsessed with the idea of like
Oh, we're going
people
on the radio.
listening on the radio, so always
Oh, we're gonna
calling out
simulcast this.
price.
Yeah, we're simulcasting this. It's gonna be on the radio. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, this is
Why?
stop.
Just listen in the if you're driving on the radio, why do you need to hear it?
Well, here's
I
the
don't know.
thing. Not everyone's watching the actual stream. They might glance their head to the side, but they're watching the market. So when we're calling out prices, they can keep their eyes on the chart, keep their eyes on the ladder, not have to scan their eyes to look at the actual YouTube stream. So we're trying to keep the eye movement is locked in on the
All right,
markets.
you'll save
Yeah, this might not
prices.
be the safest thing.
Aim.
I mounted my phone so I can watch video and live YouTube over my car screen. So even when I'm on the road, I'm tuned in. I'm a bell to beller here, so I'm
Hell
kind of
yeah, man! I
spoiled. I get to watch
appreciate
you guys
that.
live even on the road.
But be safe, man. Be safe.
That's why MP's the CEO and I'm YouTubing. Um,
Mhm.
we're within a couple points of yesterday's low right now.
Yes, we are.
It does seem like
Gave us a
downward
good
momentum is
30
slowing
point
down
bounce.
here. I do like to see,
That's fine.
especially when we reach these levels that I'm looking for a bounce, I want to see the volume start to die down, see that selling pressure start to ease up a little bit.
There we go.
Ooh, all right, let's stop. Stop
Through the
just went
lows,
off here.
yesterday's lows.
21,230. Stop definitely went off there in the NASDAQ. Jack's like, here we go. All right, more selling. New low is just printed. 21,000 day session, that is. 21,221 just printed. This is the bottom end, low end of the 7:30 a.m. Central Time numbers. We got crude closing in on $60 even. Let's see if we can take another peek beneath that 59.98 new lows there. But we are in.
I
Arico is
just
in. I
triggered a
heard the
short
order
here. I'm going to
filled.
get in a
What do
short
we
here.
got?
I'm going to try this. Look at the size of this volume coming in here. It does seem like there's some downward pressure that could continue. But since my only confluence here is the break of pre-market low, I'm going to treat this like a scalp. So I'll probably trail as this continues down. If I get a 5-minute candle close, which we still have a little less than 2 minutes on it,
Order
it would
filled.
make me feel better about it. But like I've said, when there's only one reason to get in, I don't feel as confident as I would
We're
love to
gunning for it.
do this, Jack.
Rico, what
Let's
price
do
did you
it.
get and how many times?
I'm short one micro at 224.75.
224.75. Short one micro. Make a new low.
Order filled.
208. Pushing the downside here. 58.79, Jack, in the ES. We breached the 58.85. We got more selling coming in here. Wow, stops just went off. Hello. What do we got?
Woo!
Seeing over there. Anything popping, Eddie?
Wires
Lunchtime
cold,
trade.
man.
Guess what? We stay
Wires
locked in.
cold.
We stay locked in all day. Fridays. Who gives a shit? We are locked in right now. Selling off. Rico is in. Just scalped it. How many ticks there, Rico?
I didn't even think my 1 minute bar didn't even come up to my stop or my trigger, so I don't even know what I just got hit at, honestly.
House account
Wow.
took the less than a second flip right there. We're up 800. There's some slippage, but we're up 801 now.
Yes, hell yes. Cooking to the downside. More selling coming in here in this trade with Top Step. We are in the midst of a sell off on this 5 minute. We're down about 20 points since this segment started, and there's more selling coming in here. Crude did dip beneath $60. Seeing a pop in the 10-year. Gold not doing a whole heck of a lot. Rico, are you flat?
I am flat for now. I might get back in here. I'm going to kill this zone. Once it rips through this zone like this, it's no longer a valid zone, but I will take this 1 hour level as a former support turn resistance. So this is at 193.25. Let me fix
Come on
this.
in, Eddie. What do you got?
U.S. plans wider China tech sanctions with subsidiary
Ooh,
crackdown. More tech
no bueno.
sanctions on China. Back to you guys.
Oh, good
So it sure
stuff,
okay.
Eddie.
So this 5-minute candle is going to close in a second here. I might take the retest. I might grab one more here at the retest at 193.25. Another, I'll scale back in at 226 even at the pre-market low. This zone, when I looked earlier, is a strong 1 hour zone, and it's much smaller, so it makes it much more manageable. If we break
Go.
this zone, I will also take this as former support turn resistance. So if we rip through this, let me get rid of this. I'd be interested in grabbing shorts here too, but let's see what happens here.
Nice scalp to the downside there, Jack. Get in, market. Did you go market in, market out, Jack? Essentially, just caveman that
Oh,
thing.
no, what I did was I put a stop sell. I put a limit sell
You know what you did.
above the low of the day, and I put a sitting buy
Order
below
filled.
them in a day. There was a little bit of it just both sides went off at once. There was a little bit of slippage. We made
Cheeky.
about $100. It's
Nice
cheeky.
trade. It is. That is a nice little trade right there. We bottomed out in the NASDAQ, 21,135. Since trade was top step has begun, we are down over 200 points in the NASDAQ. We were trading around 21,325. We are now trading 200 points lower. New lows printing in the NASDAQ, 21,128. ES selling off as well. I'm seeing a 500 lot on the bid of 58.60 in the ES. We are beneath $60 in crude. Markets have woken up. This is why you stay locked in and tuned into Top Step TV throughout the day. Got a Rico in the house.
Stop
Nice
right there.
scalp to the
58.
downside.
5850 SPX level testing right now. The goose is loose.
That Friday. I don't trade Fridays. Damn right, you trade
All right, so
Fridays.
check
There's always
this out,
Look at
opportunity.
photos, if you don't mind taking a look at this here. How come on my MNQ here, I still got this 11375? This looks like a 15-minute range from a couple days ago, but it's not showing up on my 1-minute chart. I'm just going to kill that here. And I got this zone here at 82. It must be oil.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of that.
Again, Eddie coming in with the hot biscuit. Yeah, U.S. plans wider China tech sanctions with subsidiary crackdown. We're seeing more selling coming here. New lows in the ES, 58.59 now, Prince. ES down about 40 points since trade with Top Step. This has begun. We got a Rico in the house joining us from Massachusetts, and we got new lows in the NASDAQ. We are cooking 50-50 on the tilt. New lows. Hello, the markets have woken up. Look at this thing go. 58.58 in the ES now. Thin on the ladder. Eddie, you seeing anything else out there? I'm starting to see some Trump headlines trickling in here.
You know, it
Sounds
came
like
off of Truth Social, and I was just trying to check to get a little more detail on that. This is about the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, not about what we're talking about here with the with China. So I mean, two things are hitting the wire here at once.
There's a lot coming at us.
Digging a little deeper here to
Jamie.
see if we can get anything else.
And Jamie saying there's
Jamie
gonna be a
spitting
crack in
fire.
the. Jamie said there's gonna be a crack in the bond market too. So we got a lot. There's your three confluences right there. Hello, wake up. We are rocking and rolling. 21,100 even. Prince in the NASDAQ selling off here. More selling coming in here. Damn, new lows. Where are they going to take this thing?
All right, so
Volume's
this is
picking
something to
up.
be watching
This is
here.
no
We have
joke.
this 4-hour trend line. Let's pull this up on here.
Damn.
Oh,
Andre, I thought it was
baby,
clever.
breaking this 4-hour trend. Oh, I wish I caught that
Yeah.
earlier. Woulda,
Thought it
coulda,
was
huh?
clever as an elf or something this morning, Andre. I sold the puts from the
Uh-oh.
Nvidia I sold after earnings.
Would
Should have waited
how's it
another
go? It's
hour.
selling off.
I mean,
Okay.
it's still a good flip. I'm happy about it. 500 lot offered. ES 5860.
Wow, huge VIX spike here too. It seems like this might continue.
The volume's backing this thing
VIX
up.
We went
so,
from
trading above
19
20.
to 20 and a half.
All right, we got more selling coming here. This volume is pushing this sucker lower. New lows in the ES, 58.54. We're down about 60 points in the ES in the last 20 minutes or so. NASDAQ getting crushed as well. NASDAQ down 250 points. 10-year cooking to the upside. Oil selling off. Got that 500 lot on the ES ladder, 58.60. Man, oh man.
I think Dakota was
What's
spot
up,
on. We
Rico?
could see
You
the
brought the
21,000
volatility with you, man.
You know, what can I say? What can I say? If we come back up to retest this, I think I'm going to add to a short. But I just want to see how volume reacts here. This is quite a push down.
What looking for a test of what? What price?
I'm tempted at the 21 142s. That was a strong hourly. I mean, look at this here. That was a strong hourly support, which we just ripped right through. But we have a long way up to the next level where I would add up. You know what? Let's go for it. I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to start a
1,000.
position at 142, depending on volume, depending on price action. And I'll probably add one more at 193. And this looks like the largest 5-minute volume for these last two candles of the day.
Good
Tariffs are
friend
back on the menu, or
What this
controls, or
is
whatever it is.
Jamie Dimon thinks the Fed is right to wait now. I tell you, we're getting hit from all sides.
Order filled.
Okay, yeah, we are getting hit from all sides, man. Oh man, yeah. At one point, we got 3,200 people watching. You guys come back every time you see a huge move. Love it. We absolutely love it. Stay tuned. We stay locked in on Top Step TV. Click like, follow, subscribe, and click that notify if you'd be so kind. But again, the headlines we're just what just happened, Andrew. Well, Eddie, what just happened, man? What just happened? Hit us with a quick recap for those that are just jumping on to see what the hell this sell-off is all about.
Well, the first one was Jamie Dimon sort of priming the wick, talking about the Fed and such. But what came in here is the U.S. plans wider China tech sanctions.
Mm.
I think that's what hit the bullseye with a subsidiary crackdown. Officials are drafting a rule that would impose U.S. government licensing conditions or transactions with businesses that are majority owned or already sanctioned firms. Also, we did have Trump talking about the CBO, which is our Congressional Budget Office, talking about the growth of that also. So, getting hit from three sides here. That's where we're seeing how the market is reacting. Thank you, Andre.
Good stuff. Eddie,
Bottomed
keeping
out
you updated here.
right
A bit
at
of a pop
50.
here.
Oh,
Bottomed
here we
out right at
go.
58.50. If you recall from last week, there was a lot of congestion in that area. We bounced off 58.50 a lot. Okay.
I didn't take that short there. I do see a lot of
Oh yeah,
better than
Andrew.
average buying volume coming in, which kind of pushed right through it. So well, I think I'll just let these headlines settle and permeate for a minute and see what happens before I hop into the next one.
The dip buyers
I
are
wouldn't mind seeing
in.
a retest.
They are running into the breach. 58.50. They said that you shall not pass.
Yeah, shall not pass indeed, man. Oh man, of
None shall
58.
pass.
Yes. For 21,079, we bottomed out in the Nasdaq. We're up about 50 points off of that. 21,130 in the Nasdaq. Looking at that ladder, we got something in here. What do we got on this S&P ladder? It's got to be a big order. 500 lot way up at 59.40. Seen 1,000 lots
VIX
very
is
much.
whipsawing all over the place too.
Yeah, it is, Rico.
I think I
Good
want to see
stuff,
that
man.
settle down as well.
What do we do now? What do we do now? That is why you stay locked in. There's always opportunity. Don't let these markets lull you to sleep. Just gotta have one eye on.
That's
Stay
right.
tuned
Don't
to Top
force
Step
anything.
TV.
Give yourself the opportunity to have another opportunity. Don't force a trade while these things are flying all over the place.
Oh, heck yeah. Welcome to the rodeo, folks.
Damn right.
Order
How about
filled.
this, man? How about this for a little Friday trade?
See if
Still
we
not
can
sold.
reclaim that 58.70 to 80 area and hold it.
58.68. Okay. 58.68. About a 15, 17 point pop. That's what do we got?
Curious,
Money
Jack and
B,
Dre, what
money
are you
B
guys
in the
seeing?
chat. Get this dude on again. Top 3 guests. Arico, you are already considered a top 3 guest. You are on the Mount Rushmore of Top Step TV guests. You are in the gym doing curls, push-ups, bench, buys and tries, never skipping leg day, and also clocking ticks on this move to the
Look
downside.
at that.
Rico,
Nice.
good stuff,
Hey, I
man.
appreciate that. Whoever said that, I love you.
Look at you blowing kisses to the crowd already, Rico. I absolutely love you. Yeah, not VIP time just yet. Gio, we got that form being dropped.
Without for sure, I was going to say, get this guy the hell out of here. But I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. All right, we got about 15 minutes or so here in trade with Top Step, and the market has woken up. We got Gabe joining the ladies after this during Lunchbox Trading. Jack, what do we do from here? Were those headlines? I mean, what was the big headline? What was the
Well,
headline that you thought was it the sanctions? That's the one that really
the
got this thing
China
cooking.
one. Yeah,
China.
for sure.
Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nvidia got cooked on that. All the Mag 7's down, of course, at the moment.
Interesting.
I think we got to. Okay, we've got a pretty big pullback. I don't like buying it or selling it right here, right now. But I don't know. Later in the day, absence of other news, if we do get like the V shape and go back into that range, I like to be short as we wind
Mm.
into the weekend.
Huh? Like that.
'Cause there's going to be more news over the weekend, folks.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and of course we've
Also
got the
seems like
big.
we have a little 1 minute bear flag forming here. If we can get a 5 minute candle close below 142, 142, maybe a close below this last green candle here, and volume seems to start dying down too. I wouldn't be surprised to see more sell pressure coming in here.
Volume dying up on this green candle. Is that what you're seeing? It's kind of maybe some short covering, so therefore you see the volume die down. Looking at what you're on the 1 minute, you said 1 minute bear flag.
Yeah, I like to keep the 1 minute and the 5 minute up. I'll take the 1 minute to enter prematurely on scalps, which I'll treat those differently as I would to see a 5 minute close, which I like to look more as like a market structure, candle formation. So that would, if I see that 1 minute get below, which it seems like it's still kind of crawling up here. So I would like to see a 5 minute candle close come back below that last hourly level of 21,142. I might get in that a little early, depending on how the 1 minute sets up.
Now, if we do break down again, test these lows, I'll definitely try and see if I can catch a runner there at the bottom.
Test the lows. Essentially the same entry as you took with a sell limit beneath, and try to just catch the
Yeah,
momentum to the
I mean,
downside.
I feel if we knock on the lows of the day this time, what I'll give some trying to keep it tight. But if we break through, there's going to be a lot of stops, and we've actually had like the dip buyers did their thing here. This is a pretty good bounce back right now. If we knock on the door again, we'll see how much ammo they have.
It's flimsier. Yes, it does. Good stuff. Rico, you're
Watching that
looking
two
for, you saw
jab.
the buying volume dying down on the micro NASDAQ. Perhaps looking for a tie. I know you had 195s. Looking for 195, still about 35 points away from that. Are you adjusting that, perhaps that entry price or target, or are you still looking for 195s?
Well, it really kind of depends on volume as well. So, and it also looks like we could be forming a 1 minute H pattern. I don't know if you've heard of this, but if you see
I
the
have not. Tell
strong
me.
push down, think of a lowercase h. Excuse me. If you see this long push down, and then it starts to form like this lowercase h pattern here, you typically will see that kind of roll over, lose momentum, and continue its downward momentum. Might prematurely enter this trade here. If this 1 minute candle closes below this last green candle two previously, I'm gonna hop in with a break above that green. I'm in. Screw it. Let's go.
Hell yeah, we're in. What
I'm gonna
price?
set my stop loss right up here in case Trump says something crazy. I always suggest just throw something in there because you never know what would happen. Next thing you know, instead of a $61 loss, you're down 400. So just throw something in there as a CYA.
You're speaking from experience, Rico. It sounds like you're speaking from experience on that one.
Yes, even as of this week, honestly, I took a payoff on Tuesday, and this week started lovely. Um, and I kind of got beat up along this week. It seems like some of these my favorite setups aren't playing out as consistent as they are, but it is what it is. You stick with your systems. And that's the other thing too. I spent years and years losing. So, I might try to I might scale into this here. Sorry to break my thought here, but see how this
Oh, good.
plays out.
Yes, stay locked in. Just let us know what price you're short from.
I am short at
Order
21.37.
filled.
137,
That's
one micro.
premature too, because yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
We got
All
30
right.
seconds left on this 5 minute candle. If it closes above this level of 142 even, I won't feel as good about it, but my stop loss is going to be a break of this last 5 minute, or I'm sorry, 1 minute green candle that failed to hold. And low volume. And that's the thing too. So if you look at the volume on that 1 minute candle, is so low compared to the other ones that kind of push this back up. So it makes me feel like the buyers lost momentum, lost steam. Maybe we can go back down and test these lows.
So on the SPX right now, we are exactly. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
We did get that 5 minute close below that level. So let's see what happens here.
Okay, I'll share this screen instead. On the SPX, We just right here, right now, are kind of at the open from the gap in the Tuesday over the weekend. We tested down into it and kind of went back. Something to keep an eye on.
Great stuff. Okay. Stay locked in.
Gap would take us down to 58.30 or thereabouts.
Where's this thing? Sure, from 137, 21,125. This is gonna be a dead cat, if you will. Short
Speaking
covering.
of,
See if
shout
we
out
can
to
push.
Dead Cat Bounce and chat. They got my favorite name in there. I love that name.
Do they?
It's descriptive, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
It evokes an image.
They don't bounce.
That it does.
That's what it's.
I think I'm
That's
gonna
what it
take
is.
my
They don't
take
bounce
profit
very
on
high.
this move just above this wick here. We saw a lot of buyers come stepping in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if they bounce it back.
Mm.
Wouldn't be mad with a
You might retest
with a
these
little.
lows here, Rico. It's not financial. They might retest these lows. Knock
Oh,
on
I
the
hope
door.
they do. That would be
Give it a
fun.
tap. See if, like Jack said, will they hold the line?
Right.
See if they
And
want
it
to
does look like VIX is creeping back up too, so see what happens.
We'll see if we can test these lows. There's some bottom pickers coming in here. Trying to say, nope, we will, thou shalt not pass. And the seller's going to see. We've got the tug of war going on right now. See much showing up in the tilt, but we saw the VIX spike are creeping up higher here. Rico, when you say that, when you see that, what is that telling you in real time while you're in trade?
Sorry, what was the question?
When you see the VIX moving higher again right now, right here, right now, while you are short the NASDAQ, what is that telling you? What does that mean to you?
Well, that's a good question. And I try to look at like divergence and harmony. So if the VIX is going up and the market is going down, it's moving in harmony. I want to see that. That's just telling me, it gives me further confidence that my trade is playing out in the direction that it should be. If we see them moving in conjunction with each other, so if the VIX is going up, meaning the market should be going down, but the markets are going up, I try to keep a close eye on volume to see if the opposite volume is dying out, because that could tell me that we could see a strong reversal coming here. So if we're looking short and the VIX is going up with it, it just gives me more confidence in this trade. I might move this down now that we're about 20 points in. Let's see what we get to here. Wouldn't be mad with a,
going on right now.
because we just see this
21,001.
big wick coming up here too. So let's just see what happens. I got taken out. So
Update the P&L. Another winner. 2 for 2 on trade with Top Step.
Eh.
What's that P&L, Rico?
only reason that gave me a little pause is seeing this big lower wick on this candle here. So they could step back in and spoil our party. So I'd rather just take a little bit off the table, especially my only confluence on this trade was a break of this level. So I didn't really have a lot of justification to stay in this. It very well could go down and test these lows.
Rico, you done this before? You stream? You're pretty good at this.
No, never.
Really?
I was just telling Gabe yesterday, you have no idea how nervous I am to be on here, make a fool of myself. But, here I am.
Man.
Well, you're talking great, man. Don't.
Yeah, you are.
I
I've got
appreciate
BK
that,
in the
fellas.
chat. BK in the chat. Never looked at VIX in my life. Rico, never
Ooh,
looked at
yeah,
VIX in
throw
his
that
life.
on
He gave
there.
us a little what we're gathering. Yeah, it's just kind of a gives you confidence in the trade when you see things moving. VIX goes higher. We got
For sure.
Yeah, he's moving lower. So now it's another tool in the tool belt. Toolbox, tool belt. Did I screw that up? Like, there you go, BK.
Both exist.
You made it
Andre,
sound
both
good though,
exist.
so it's all fine.
I appreciate that.
All right. Knock, knock.
Johnny, I almost said your last name. Johnny, you're an idiot. Johnny, you're an idiot. Oh my gosh. I like to read the funny goof on me, but I couldn't read your last name, Johnny. Oh, I almost fell for that. All right, 50-50 on the tilt. We got about 6 minutes here in trade with Tops. We are flat, correct? Flat all around. We got this amazing this powwow with Trump and Musk. No Bostic. Bostic is
Bostic's
Oh,
left.
Trump
what
and Musk are
happened
already live,
there?
huh?
oh shit, Johnny.
Well, we had Barkin on the docket too a couple days this week, and he never showed. So this just might be a small little error.
Don't no show on Ali, man. Ali will not a fan of the no shows. He let him have it earlier in fast markets. All right, let's see. You hear that,
Remember
Rico?
Bosco sticks, Andre?
Bosco. Why is the name? Yeah, well, Bosco.
Cheese breadsticks. They're good. Anyway,
No.
You know,
Order
I'll tell you when we
filled.
come back Sunday with Anne Marie, market's opening up Sunday. We got to remember too that OPEC had this meeting over the weekend. They're trading
Shit,
that
man.
crude. I
here
think
we
there's going to be a also
here we
a little
go.
later on today. Goolsby's going to be speaking, and Trump after we're done here. So that might affect the weekend.
You had
Make
the
or
up for
break. I don't know if I'm gonna sell or buy when it gets down here, but I'm gonna do something. Just gonna have to look at the price action.
all those bottom pickers, right? If they didn't take their
The
profits on
50
that
50
short
has been strong.
50. All right, cool.
Yeah, looking at the hour, like we definitely have a lot of room down here. We have a few wicks here that we could bounce off of, maybe at the 2150 area. But it's definitely weak.
They're gonna test these things. You're telling me there's no stops down here. They're gonna. Well, maybe the
Oh,
take a
tilt.
look at the ladder on the ES. Ladder on the ES. Great job back there, Cam. Cam on the box back there. What's up, Cameron? Doing great work back there.
Our
We got
pulse
Gabe
into what the
and the
youths are
ladies.
doing.
Gabe and the ladies up next for lunchbox trade. Anne Marie, Indiana. Anne Marie, market kickoff. You heard Eddie talking about the news coming over this weekend. Well, what better person you want? Anne Marie will give you the recap to kick off the trading week. 4:45 p.m. Central Time. Anne Marie, I'm right. Oh, so we'll let her talk about it. All right, we're gonna go test these lows. 21,091 last trade. NASDAQ about 11 points from the lows there. ES creeping a little lower. 58.53 is the low, about 7 points from there. Jack, 58.50 is the line in the sand.
I think so. If I
Right.
were to get short here, I think that's where I'd like my stop to eventually be if it runs through to the downside.
Yeah.
Because if
Oh,
it
here's
if it
another
runs
strong
through this
hourly
and then
level at
reclaims
the
58.50,
if we lose this level, we could see some more downside. I'm tempted to see how this
I'll
five
tell you
minute
what,
closes. We got 2 minutes left.
Dakota was talking about 21,000 evens. Pretty fast
If you
markets.
look at this
Look at
1 minute,
that.
this is that H pattern that did end up playing out.
Look at that. Is that your chart? Let's go to Rico's chart. Let's
Yeah,
show us that
this
H.
one right
Look at
here on
that.
the left. 1 minute.
Perfect. Straight out of a textbook.
ha ha ha.
H for hot, man.
Hey, it-
This goes by fast, huh, Rico? Do
okay.
you think this is gonna go slow or go
Sure it does.
fast? Oh,
No, this flew by.
doing great. All right, what's the next move? Here we go. Let's there you go. New lows, new lows, new lows, new lows. We saw that
Well, that
coming.
was
We new
quick.
lows in the NASDAQ,
Not
21,071.
not the ES yet.
Not the
Not
ES
the
just
ES
yet. How
yet.
far away, Jack, from the lows in the ES? I'm looking at NASDAQ right
Five
now. How's the
5
ES look?
points. 5 points.
5 to go. Okay. Tap on that. Now, what are Rico's probably looking for? Are you looking for volume to push through the downside to breach these levels in order to say look out below?
Yes. So that's the thing too, is it looks like if you look at the 5 minute, the sell volume has been decreasing. But if we get a 5 minute candle close, which is going to end in about a little over 1 minute under 21,8375, which is the last. Let me just pull up my 1 hour chart here on the left. If you have me open, you can see right here. This was that strong wick here. So if we break this and we have increased sell volume, we get a 5 minute candle close. That just looks better with the structure side. I would love to see that 5 minute candle close with stronger volume. Would give me more confidence to hop back in another short. The next leg down.
So you are not
Seems like
looking
it
for
wants it.
longs. All three of your trade, well, 2 of your trades have been to the short side. You're not looking
That's
to
the thing.
change that.
I like to continue with the momentum. One thing that killed me for years is trying to prematurely take a reversal. So the next one I have is if I'm still open here on the left, you'll see my 1 hour chart. We got a pretty strong uh, supply or demand zone sitting here, or a zone. The supply and demand is kind of pointless because that could quickly turn into an acceleration zone, and that support could easily turn
You're
resistance. So
smooth, man.
I just kind
You're
of look at
smooth.
it as another zone.
How long you been trading for?
I've been trading and that's the thing. Before I switched to futures, I was trading options for a little less than 2 years. I've been trading equities, and that's what I was saying. I spent a lot of years losing. I would switch. And a lot of people say you're strategy hopping, but I like to look at it more as finding the strategy that matches your risk tolerance. because no matter how patient you can be, if your risk tolerance can't stand the drawdown, you're just going to get out early and you're going to lose. So if you could find the strategy that matches your risk tolerance, and this is looking good for a short, I feel like you'll be able to find that consistency and profitability sooner.
All right, man. Well, we are up on time. We got to allow Gabe and the ladies back in here for Lunchbox Straight. Rico, that was awesome, man. We'd like to have you back on. The chat's loving you. Ned's loving you. You're probably going to be starting your own YouTube stream here shortly. That's typically how this thing goes when you do well. You say, I'm going to go lone wolf on this thing. I'm just joking. You had 91% win rate. Now you have 100% win rate now on Top Step TV. That wasn't meant to jinx you. Jack, nice trade to the downside. I like that cheeky execution. Sell, limit, order beneath the lows just to catch the move to the downside. Rico, see him in the chat. A true bell to beller. Jack, I will see you on the reversal challenge. We got Lunchbox Trading coming up with Gabe, Deanna, and Marie. Markets have woken up on this Friday. Let's go. Let's make that money. Come on.
Appreciate you having me. Love you guys.
Hell yeah, Rico.
Order filled.
right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. It is Lunchbox Trading, and I am here with two of my favorites. We had Deanna and Anne Marie. The markets were hot this last hour, so I know we're going to kind of jump right into things. But real quick, Deanna, I know that you are in a trade currently, so do we want to go ahead and just kind of highlight that real quick? And how are you doing, though, first of all?
I've been setting up my computer, so I'm a little bit squirrely, but all good. So, yeah.
Sounds good. And Anne Marie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
Excited to be here with everybody.
Absolutely. Always grateful to have the two of you with us. So I know we had talked a little bit about briefly kind of what we wanted to go over this segment, but before we do, let's go ahead and highlight Deanna's trade that we've got on currently. What's going on over there, D?
Yeah. So we had a big flush in natural gas earlier on, kind of settled into a bit of a consolidation, no notable levels. You guys have my charts?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if I did that. Yeah, so now if we manage to fail the auction upside, now this was the initial balance from 3473 roughly, all the way up to 355.2. So still battling around the initial balance low. So I do need this to hold into the initial balance for this trade idea to work. Usually around about this time, we start getting into the final stretch in the energies markets. So that might push it.
Order
Might
filled.
also flush it down. Nobody knows. But, usually for this time of day, there's a good chance that we do rotate back into the range, at least up to VWAP and maybe even a little bit higher. So we'll see.
Order
One thing
filled.
that's worrying me here is that it is a B-shaped profile, which is a little bit sketchy for fading the market. And then we also have the last day of the month, which can always bring some weirdness into the picture. So we'll see. So far, 7 ticks in profit, and it's kind of slowly trying to find some buyers. But right now, I would like to see a little bit more volume stepping in. Right now, we're not getting that. So I have to wait.
Okay. Well, speaking of volume, we are seeing some buying come into the market right now in the
Yep.
S&Ps and the Nasdaq. Last trade in S&Ps 5878, Nasdaq trading 21,170. So we're getting a little bit of a bottom taking place off these lows here from the lunch hour, or the top of the lunch hour, essentially. And Marie, are you in any trades currently at the moment?
No, I am actually waiting to see if Micro Bitcoin can frame out a bottom here. It just lost its weekly implied volatility, and so it's right down here. What we are seeing is a pretty nice bounce in both the ES and the NQ off of these lows. What I was so intrigued by, I started really taking Jay's thought of what if we started looking at candlestick volumes and moving them in that space. And because I am much slower trader than Jay, I moved to an hourly candlestick formation. So
Okay.
this bounce that we're in the process of in the ES, it's got its first resistance area right around 58.76, and then potentially up into that candlestick event at 58.87. So that's where I'm looking for that price action to reflexively give back and then potentially move further down. We can see that in the NQ as well. And let's get that up. Right? We can see that this candlestick is the largest negative candlestick, the one we just finished on the hourly formation in the NQ. Once it gets back into the candlestick, I like the counter trend long into resistance. And so I'm going to stare down the prior area of a high volume candlestick in the near term and see that that's really at the top of the box. So I'm going to be looking at that 50% mark to say, all right, let's see what the traders do. Can they get up over 21,206? That is counter trend. And so if it doesn't immediately keep moving, I'll cut the trade immediately. But that's what I'm looking at in our two major indices.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, the question I know Hogue, Hoop and Hogue this morning were talking a little bit, and Hoop just mentioned in chat says, "Don't get caught sleeping on the end of the month bounce. It happened last time."
Yes.
So I'm wondering, it's
Yes.
obviously the last day of the month. It is a Friday. We just, we had some major selling come into the market leading into this lunch hour, and now we're seeing a pretty substantial bounce. The question is, will sellers come back into the markets and take us maybe to new lows of the day, or whether or not this maybe we just made the low of the day, and we'll be kind of slowly grinding back to the north side for the remainder of the trading session. So definitely curious to see what we'll do from here. All right, so D, you're in a long position on natural gas at the moment, and
Mhm.
Marie is currently flat. Let's see. Let me check to see any news off the wire quite yet. I know Eddie's been killing it in chat, dropping in all the events recently. Okay, so Anne Marie, so we're coming back into the 50% range of that recent 1 hour candle closure that we just had in the equities. And would we be looking for any possible shorts here, or are we looking to the buyers leading into the rest of the day, or kind of just sitting on our hands at the moment? What's kind of your lean right now based off of
So
what we're seeing?
my thought is actually we just finished that volume candlestick. No, this one is still the highest, but this last candlestick that we popped into, just like the NQ, it had some pretty good selling into it. Look at that 50% retracement. It stopped dead at the 50% mark of the range of that last hourly candlestick formation. Stop right dead there. So the thought is if we have an end of the month bounce, what is that actually going to end up looking like? Because the trend is certainly towards the downside. We spent hours and hours and hours inside of this tight range, which was um, an important region from yesterday. So we just sat really all over that range. And so the question is now that we've lost it, can we continue downside, or does the end of the month trading really kick in? And so my thought would be if I'm looking for a bottom, what I want to do is go to a 3-minute chart, and I'm going to delete this one right here. I'm going to leave that box alone. I'm going to look at that 3-minute chart, and I'm going to do the same thing Jay does. I'm going to put a box around that 3-minute selling event and see if we can get through it. If we can get through it, the first pullback will give me the long, or
Okay.
a bottoming formation will be the long. So my gut would suggest that bottom might be 58.59. See if it holds the inside of that space. We look
Okay.
for the chart to stop heading lower, bounce, pull back, make a higher low, and then continue up the range. But this selling candle that we saw off of the news, the one with the biggest volume, is the one we want to watch. And so let me do a buy stop above that zone at 58.91. So that would be the setup there. Just using, what's volume doing? What are the ranges telling us? And can we move forward in a nice clean pattern from that edge? Do you want me to set up the NQ the same way?
Yeah, so I like the thought process there. The question would be, knowing we're kind of thinking a little bit more of a long bias potentially, if we're
Mm-hmm.
able to maintain. Where would your risk be if we were to revisit those lows? You know, the 58, 59 in the NQ. You know, just shy of 21,100. If we were to revisit those lows, how would you be managing risk in that location? Just knowing that depending on the momentum that's coming through into the market, if we were to revisit those lows, you know, maybe we see another
5
pretty
points
drastic
and
sell
I'm
off.
out of there. Yeah.
Okay, so
5
very tight.
points and I'm out of there. Very, very tight.
Got
Very
it.
tight. So
Okay,
let's
and
take a
then
look at, go
yeah, I was
ahead.
about to say you want to go and size up the NQ for a similar scenario.
So here is our NQ formation. Now we're inside of this high volume box. So if I were to say the trade is long here, and I actually want to do the MNQ because I don't want to get my face ripped off. So let's do that.
It's
I
Friday,
hate to
probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me draw the box there for this hour that we've got here. We're now on the inside. Let's go to the 3 minute like Jay has, and let's look for that high volume candlestick. It's inside. And here, notice we're trying to reject that, right? We're not inside of that candlestick box. But if we break inside of this box and I do something like say, you know what, I'm going to do a buy stop above the high of the last wick, or I'm going to do a buy stop near the lows. Limit near the lows. And that's
Okay.
what I'm going to try and position.
Okay. So see if we can get some momentum to the upside, and if we don't, if we fail here and we go lower,
Bye bye.
possible tight, you
Yeah.
know, opportunity to maybe buy the bottom of the range on the
Yeah.
shorter time frames. Okay. Chat, who's still locked in on this Friday trade? Anybody able to turn a red day into a green day, or anybody still in a position? If you are in a position, what's your bias right now? Are you guys long or short? What are we thinking from here? I'd be very curious to see where people are positioned at the moment. I know Tilt at the moment is leaning a little bit to the long side, 60% tilt in the ES and the NASDAQ. So you got BK been short for 3 hours. Wow, you've been probably capitalizing on a good portion of this move down then. All green, red to green. Let's go. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Okay, so seeing a little bit of selling come into the market right now. Not a whole lot though, but we're kind of easing off the longs at the moment. Tilt slowing down. Crude oil leaning 70% long in the tilt right now. Last trade in crude oil 60.54. Pushing back kind of to near the highs of the morning. I know the high of the New York session at around 10 a.m. I believe that's 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Central. I've got my chart still in Central. It's so weird being on the East Coast and still having my charts in Central. I get tweaked out about that a lot. But the high in crude oil was about 60.87. So we'll see if we can continue to maintain some strength leading back up to the highs of the session in crude. Gold 62% long. Last trade in gold was 3316.8 per ounce. D, any updates to that position in natural gas? What's going on over there?
Still sort of entry plus 7 ticks, entry -1, entry plus
Yeah.
6 ticks. So they haven't really made the move yet.
Right.
On ES, I am seeing one of the gamma exposure levels at, still getting used to this mouse, at 58.75. If that remains supportive, I would be more in favor of longs and then a possible failed. Well, it wouldn't be a failed auction because it's a neutral day. But I think that if we get over that hump, we have some space up to Globix VWAP. And then if it fails the auction and we get some more volume, we manage to battle through VWAP, then we'll see that run into the end of the month. Wouldn't be surprised if I see that.
Okay.
Order
We
filled.
do have a 4-week volume POC at 59.08. That might prove a little
POC?
bit difficult.
Point of control.
Volume point of control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
from a 4 weeks worth volume profile. So massive. But generally, that means that they were battling around that zone for quite a while. You know, you need quite a lot of volume too to go over that. So we'll see what happens. But for now, I think I prefer the longs at least up to VWAP. But only if 58.75 remains supportive. If we go below it, then shorts are still in control.
I like it.
That's kind of my
Well,
view.
if for those that are watching, if you don't know, we do have a VIP form coming today still. So we have some room to go still. I'm not going to say when, but it may or may not be this hour. So tell your friends, get your dupas in here, come hang out with us for a little bit, and I think Eddie might be dropping in shortly with a little update. D, are you psyched for this
Order
next
filled.
VIP? I know.
Oh yeah.
Season 3.
I'm
right?
really looking forward to seeing how we're going to improve the program as well, and looking forward to meeting everyone. You know, it was pretty fun last time. I did like to see. I wanted to see a little bit more control over the traders, so we're kind of working on how we can do that, just purely
Yeah.
to make the experience a little bit quicker. Because if somebody is doing the same thing over and over, and the coach is saying, "Hey, don't do that," and they keep doing it, it just extends the amount of time that we need to spend coaching them. And then they get to like month 2, 2.5, and they're like, okay, well, that hasn't been working. Maybe I should